Hey guys, Jared James here, and I want to talk to you about something. I hope most of you by now have gotten a chance to see the business planning webinar I did, which is still available on YouTube and on our site, and I think in other places, where I've really tried to get you to break down to the very simple how many appointments it takes to get what you want, how many contacts, how many, like very simple, break it down to a daily function rather than every year I need to do this or every, and the reason I really did this is because I didn't want you to be lost. I mean, being lost is not a good place, especially when it comes to business. To me, it's kind of like when you're in a corn maze, and you're in that corn maze, and you're walking back and forth. Everywhere you go, there's a dead end. I did this with my kids over the summer, and it doesn't matter how close you are to an outlet or the exit. If you can't find where to go, you're lost. I mean, you're completely lost, and yet you're so close. It's kind of like I was in New York last week for a conference, and I'm in this hotel room, and in the hotel room, the lights no longer are like a switch. There's no more like hit a switch, whatever. Now it's like you got to feel like an idiot just if you're turning on the lights. And it was like 2 fingers up, I couldn't even figure it out. It couldn't have been just slide up or down because it wasn't working. But at one point I finally got the drapes to come down, and I just said they're staying. They're not going anywhere because I'm not going to be able to figure out how to get them back up. But now the room was pitch black. And at one point, I need to use the restroom or something, and I get up, and it's pitch black, and I'm trying to walk over. I know a general area of where the bathroom is, but I'm not really sure exactly, so I walk over there. I'm trying not to step on things, and as I get about halfway, I realize, my God, I'm not even going to know how to turn on the light. Like, I'm in trouble right now. So I reach out to where I think it is, and I'm scrolling my fingers up and down, and I'm, whatever. Finally, I get the light on. I found out once the lights did come on that at first all I was doing was swiping up and down on a mirror. I wasn't even near the bathroom. I mean, it was just ridiculous because I was lost, and that's how we look when we're lost, when we don't understand where we are. I don't want that for you within your business. What I really want for everybody is to learn how to break things down to the simple. I posted last week on Facebook, and I said how after 2 years now, I finally just hit a mark in running on a 3-mile run I had done. I went under this time frame for the first time in 2 years. I've been trying to do for 2 years, and I was just like, if you'd have seen me in the street, it was like a scene out of Rocky. I was so excited. I was so, whatever. And then I went running today, a week later, and my time was over a minute slower than that. And there's a couple things that I really took from that. Number one, I didn't feel like running today. I mean, I did not feel like it at all. I didn't have the motivation to do it. I didn't anything, but I knew it was my day to run, and so what I did was a couple things. I said, well, I don't want to run, but I can get my running clothes on. I don't really want to run, but I announced to my wife that I'm going running, accountability partner. I said, I'm going running, because I knew if I didn't go run that she'd eventually come back to me and say, hey, I thought you were going running, so I put it out there. I didn't want to run, but I knew I could at least go outside. I knew I could at least, okay, I'll go outside, I'm in my running clothes, and eventually I ran. I started to run, didn't feel it. Terrible, like my body wasn't into it, my nothing. Just did not feel it, but I didn't stop. I wasn't at peak performance, but I didn't stop. And that's one thing I learned. One thing I learned was that whether you're at your peak performance or not, you still do the daily things you're supposed to do to get what it is that you said that you wanted, regardless of how you feel. And so, yeah, I came back. It was slower. It was whatever. But this is where so much of our busyness is created instead of business, is the idea that once we start feeling like we're not at peak performance, we just kind of go, we don't do the things we're supposed to do. I still ran, slower, but I still ran. And then I came back, and there was another thing that I learned as well, because if you know me at all, I mean, come hell or high water, when I go out again in 2 days to run, I'm going to try to beat not only today, but I'm going to try to beat what I did last week, no matter what it takes, okay? That's just how I function. That's how I am, okay? But I looked at it, and I went, God, I was off by like 1:20, like over 3 miles. That's a far distance to make up. So looking at that, it seems almost insurmountable. So I said, there's no way I'm going to do that. But then I went, well, what if I made up 20 seconds a mile? That seems doable. 15 seconds for that street. Like whatever it may be, I broke it down into smaller increments, and now that seems so much more doable. Now, how does this apply to your business? It's because, look, I was talking to our coaching students earlier, and I said, when you really look at what we want them to do, they're making like 3,000 contacts this year. Now, the average person is going to look at that and go, I can't make 3,000 contacts in a year. I can't make 3,000 contacts. That's too much. Can you make 10 today? Now it seems a little bit more doable. I look at it and I go, I can't fly 150,000 miles this year. I can get on a plane to Dallas this Thursday or Friday or whatever it is. I can do that. That's something. See, we have to learn how to break things down into the smaller. I'm going to run over 500 miles this year. That is, I don't even like driving 500 miles. There's no way I can run over 500 miles. But I can run 3 today. You see what I'm saying? And so what we have to do is we have to learn to know where we're at within our business and not be lost. Because the truth is, when you don't know where you are, when you don't know what it takes to create business, when you don't know how many contacts you're supposed to make, when you don't understand that, you're lost. And when you're lost, you're basically in a lot of trouble. You're not going to know where to apply the pressure, where to scale to do better. You're not going to know any of these kinds of things, and that's why consistency wins. It's 3 miles today, or even for me, it was just put your jogging stuff on. For me, it was just, for you, it might be go into the office, pick up the phone, make one call. For you, it might not be 3,000 contacts, it's 10 today. Whatever that happens to be for you, that's what we have to master. Rome wasn't built in a day. You guys have heard this before. We've got to learn to break down our business in such a simple way that we don't know what we have to do over a year. I'm creating 100 transactions. I'm creating whatever. But you need to know what you need to do today. And that's where you start, and that's where you finish. It's really that simple. Guys, I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.